Okay, so we are seeing, let's go down to the weekly view. So we are still seeing that USD as a currency is still very strong in general, and we are still seeing that yen is still on the fall. So you can see the USD JPY is actually on the upward trend. Obviously not a very nice trend line, a very steep one rather. So we are currently on the weekly chart. We can see there's a possible for a small channel that we are looking at. Yep, it is indeed a small channel that we are looking at, ascending channel, and we are seeing the slight drop for USD JPY for now. So hold on. Okay, and then yeah, moving down to the daily, we are looking at this currently. We are looking at this. We are removing our MA first, and then we'll do the final analysis on the 4-hour chart. Okay, thank you for the answer. And then we are looking at a basis supporting line at price 142.097. All right, and then we can see that price did touch the top of our channel that we drawn on the daily. Let me just annotate this, will be slightly easier for you guys. Okay, and then we can see that we have a, sorry, that is a weekly. And then we also see a daily recent support line. Okay, and then we will see we are expecting actually USD JPY to make a small drop down to the bottom of the channel, which is the supporting line of the channel. However, we are also looking at a what we call a pullback. It is also gonna be our newest support, our resistance turn support. You can take a look here, where we are looking at this part to be hitting, and this was a previous resistance. All right, then we are moving down to 4 hours. So 4 hours fast stretch. So recent 4 hours, we are looking at a slight downward movement. If we want to take a descending line, we will be looking at this. A more close support line, we will be looking at 145.526. In this case, we can also shift the support line further down to 145.177, and then we can have a recent resistance. Okay, we are actually looking at a small drop over here for USD JPY. All right, however, we must be sure that price must drop down from the trend line, the descending trend line that we are looking at. If it's not dropping down, then we will have to take a look at possibility of a breakthrough, which is a bounce from the support. Okay. Okay, so we are looking at a possible bounce. If price actually exceeds this descending trend line, then we are expected to see a breakthrough on the USD JPY back up to possible the previous high at 147.22. Okay, now let's just use our Fibonacci retraction. So we are actually possibly looking at 38.2%, very nicely lined up over here at our first resistance. And if there is a breakthrough, we'll be looking at a price to break through at this second resistance, which is our 50% Fibonacci retraction. Hold on. Okay, this is what we are looking at right now. And then let's use our Fibonacci projection. So we wanted to draw another way. Okay, so you can see that in this case of Fibonacci projection, you can see that it reached the 100% Fibonacci projection at our first support and then made a bounce up to the first resistance. So yes, actually this 100% has already been carried out. However, this is a point where we can tell that actually our first support that we have actually drawn out here for price 145.177 is really strong. And to be something to be focused on the 4-hour mark time chart. Okay, so now we can put in some indicators looking at a Ichimoku cloud. Sorry, let me remove the Fibonacci levels. I'm hearing some noises. Hi, sorry, is that Madan? All right, are you able to actually mute? Let me try to mute all. Okay. Hold on, I'm seeing a issue. Okay, so let's continue moving on looking at our Ichimoku cloud. We can see that in this case, Ichimoku cloud, our prices are actually way below the Ichimoku cloud. That's one of the way we use Ichimoku cloud. If prices are actually have already dropped down and crossed under the Ichimoku cloud indicator, then we are expecting to see a downward movement of the price. We can also put in our conversion and baseline to see a very basic crossover. So in this case, if it's a downward movement, we're expecting a red line, which is our baseline to actually cross from below to above the conversion line. So in this case, let's zoom in. I'm not sure whether you guys are able to see it. We can see that there is a cross here with the price beneath the Ichimoku cloud, and we are also looking at a pretty strong resistance where there is a downward moving descending trend line. We are also looking at a possible 38.2 Fibonacci retracement as our first resistance. That is what we are currently looking at. Pretty credible for the downward movement. However, do hold on until this current candle is actually done moving, and then we will see whether price actually did indeed exceed our downward trend line. If it doesn't, there's a high chance that it will drop back down to our first support with the support of our 100% Fibonacci projection. Let's also take a look at moving average. All right, and then we are looking at a 21-day length. You can see that for, let me change the color. It's very hard to see. Okay, for the black line will be our moving average. So you can see the price have a signed of actually trying to break the moving average. So if we are looking at this 21-day moving average, we should be more conservative of our actions towards USD JPY. Like I said, personally, I would have waited till this candle is done or finished before we proceed with any form of trading. All right. I do see that there are more attendees now. Do you guys want to request for any pairs? If not, I will move on to analyze another pair of choice. Okay, I guess not. Okay, I will move on then. Let's look at dollar CAD. Okay, let's just remove all the indicators and go back and start with the current week. Okay, we can see that initially there was a ascending channel here or some sorts for the weekly chart. However, price has already go way above these channels that we are looking at. Not a very nice one because there's many peaks. Okay, you can see that price right now, it has already shot up of it, ascending channel, looking for a downward movement. Okay, and then we are seeing some important horizontal levels that I'm seeing right here. Okay, there is a small, I would say small, actually. There's a resistance and support turn resistance situation here at price 1.38657. We can also get this ascending resistance for the channel as a possible support price. Okay, we are looking at 133.474 for weekly. So let me just like annotate this. Let's look at daily to see whether we identify any more trends. There's a possible of a small head and shoulder situation. This is a possible head and shoulder situation. First of all, the condition is that it has to be an upward trend. All of the tag points has to be reached. All right, has to be reached at the end of the candle. There's a chance that we are seeing a drop and a slight pullback right now to test the neckline level. Over here. Right, we are trying to see whether they are testing a possible neckline level. Sorry, yeah, this is the neckline. And for head and shoulders, there's a chance that there is a pullback to the half of the head and shoulder before it finally dropping down. So currently, I'm actually expecting a possibility where price will actually pull back to 1.36035 before dropping back down for dollar CAD. I'm kind of leaning more towards the drop for dollar CAD, even though it does seem like it is in a price in between two prices, which you are looking at 1.33474 and 1.38657, more of a non-trending one. However, I believe that we are more keen to actually look into a downward movement with dollar CAD. However, I don't think right now it's the best entry timing. Okay, I don't think right now it's the best entry timing, provided that we are looking at this head and shoulder that we are seeing to be accurate. Okay. Let's move on to, let me think of any other pairs that, shall we do gold? Okay, let's start from weekly. Okay, right now I'm looking at a weekly, very small support that we are zooming in. We are also looking at a downward trend that has recently been broken. All right, just this current candle that is moving right now. So we have to take note of this current candle pricing at 1700. And then we are looking at this support turn resistance price at 1795.651. Let's look at daily. Yep, daily gives us a much clearer picture. That price has suddenly actually already broke out of a descending trend line on the weekly. However, we are still looking at 1730.343 as a weekly resistance. And then we are looking at this as a 1620.332 as a weekly support. Sorry, daily support. Just change this. Okay. So we are seeing that actually gold right now is actually in between these two prices, 1730.343 and 1620.332. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour, there is a small, very small resistance, 1716.251. I don't think this is the top yet for a dropping price. I am looking at a upward movement for gold right now. So instead of that, I am looking at a support at 1704.3730. We can put this as a H4 support. All right, so we can look at this daily resistance still. For H4, I am looking for a further upward movement. So let's look at our fib retracement. We are looking at 38.2% for our fib retracement over here. And oops, sorry. And then we can look at the second support at 1694.768. We are looking at a smaller upward movement. Do bear. Yes, it looks like a very small trade, but our 1730.070 is actually a daily resistance. So it's actually a pretty big level to not a harder chance for it to exit, harder chance for the price to exit. So let's keep our trade. Personally, I will keep it more short. Prefer it to actually, it will be great if it moves up to 1730.07. And if price actually exit our 1730.07, then we will be looking at a further increase or price increase to a possible 1764. However, until then, if it price does not exceed, I will not personally will not be trading above the price of 1730.07. So for those that are looking way beyond 1730.070, or you're looking at a downward movement, downward movement is highly unlikely for me right now, because I'm seeing that it actually just exceeded our weekly downward descending trend line. And for the upward moving ones, they are looking way past 1730, which is the daily resistance. Personally, I will wait for price to actually exceed 1730 before entering again. All right, so I would like to keep my analysis to be more short and sweet one. All right, let's look at so the H2 support can be the H4 second support can actually act as your what do you call it, stop loss. All right, let's look at some projections. Sorry, let's do a bigger one. Do the bigger movement. Yeah, so we are seeing that our daily resistance, or actually our take profit and point of price, is actually very in line with our 100% Fibonacci projection. All right, and then let's look at Ichimoku and see whether price has exceeded. For the H4, you can see that Ichimoku price is way above the Ichimoku cloud. And then let's bring in our base and conversion lines. You can see that blue line did cross under the red line, which is the conversion line, did cross above the baseline. So we can see that, yeah, the cross has happened here. We are actually waiting for a upward movement. However, there is a chance where upward movement has been exhausted, and there is a chance of dropping down. All right, because we can see the price did shoot up a lot from 1678. And then now all the way up to 1715. It's a pretty big upward movement. All right, so do look at the stop loss. For those that are uncomfortable with the stop loss, do move it closer or further according to your analysis. All right, this is what I'm currently seeing. Let's look at RSI. Okay, so there's a chance where the upward movement has been exhausted. You can see that RSI is actually let me just change. All right, RSI did reach the peak for a bit. All right, that's something to note. Stochastics are actually looking quite dangerous as well. There's a chance where the price did the upward movement is actually did exhaust. Okay, so depending on what indicators that you normally use for gold, do take note of those indicators as well. However, I'm more leaning towards Ichimoku cloud. All right, this is for gold. Let's look at something else. Okay, I see dollar, euro. We'll move on to this. Let's remove all the indicators and start back from the weekly as well. Okay, you can see that this is a very nice upward movement for the dollar, euro. I'm trying to look for any horizontal levels that I can levy with. Okay, there is a one level here at 2002. All right, we do see that actually our price did react to the level a little bit at 1.0329. Okay, this is a very small level, but it's still something to take note of. We are looking at this horizontal level. Let me just annotate this. So basically, price has not reached this high since 2002. All right, it's still something to take note of. We are still seeing an ascending trend over here. Okay, so we can see that actually the current week candle is actually on the line, on the trend line. So we will zoom in further down to see what we are expecting. Okay, so if you want to zoom in a bit more, you can see that actually daily did have a descending trend line. All right, we are looking at a potential support at 0.9899. 0.9899, we are looking at a possible support. All right, and then let's zoom in down to 4 hours. There's nothing much on the daily for us to conclude. Okay, so for 4 hours, let me just remove this trend line, and there's something that is very specific that we can look at. You can see that actually price is actually moving up and down on in between price 1.0269 and 0.9899. All right, so we are looking at these two prices, and there's no particular trend in this case. However, there is a support turn resistance line at 1.0062. All right. Even if we remove this line, I do see the USD Euro does not have a very specific trading right now, unless it goes to the top or bottom. I don't think right now in the middle of the chart or middle of the price points is a good trade to proceed with. Personally, I would skip on this or put this on hold for further observation. But for the benefit of the analysis, we will go down to an hour. If you guys do hourly trades as well, then you guys can take a look at this. All right, so we are looking at a much smaller trend line. All right, price did indeed exceed the descending trend line. We are looking at a smaller price point support at 0.9962. All right. And then we are also looking at a resistance price point at 1.0104. Okay, so for those that do hourly trades for dollar euro and you guys still want to trade this in between these two big price points that we have talked about, this is something that you can look at. Okay, and do we have any other requests? Okay, we don't have any other requests. We can look at other pairs. We did dollar yen, dollar CAD, we did gold, we did dollar euro, and we are gonna look at Swiss franc. So dollar franc. Okay, let me remove everything. All right. So let's start from the weekly. So if you guys have any questions, I feel that is there any trading chance in you? As in US dollar, are you looking at dollar index? Are you looking at dollar index? If you're looking at dollar index, we can do an analysis on dollar index. Okay, let's proceed to dollar index first before we look at dollar franc. All right, you guys can show me with any like weird pairs as well. We can look at silver. We can look at a lot of the commodities as well if you guys would like to. All right. You can see the dollar index right now. We are on the weekly chart. All right, so looks like a upward movement, not surprising. Let me look at any possible horizontal levels to relate to. Not much. Okay, so we'll just take this price point as a weekly resistance at 113. 0.408. Sorry, I will need everyone to actually mute. Yeah. Okay, we are good. Okay. And then we are looking at an hour movement, very similar to the ones that we are looking in the dollar pairs. Okay, we're looking at weekly resistance. Let's move down to daily. Pretty straightforward for weekly. So yeah, here. A daily support we are looking here. Very straightforward one, actually, not much movement. Looking at H4. Very similar to the one that we are looking at just now. Very similar to the pair that we're looking at just now. Okay, let's focus on the 112.965 as the most recent resistance. I wish I can say that there's more trading chances, but I think the movement are pretty limited. Price point difference not very big. However, I think I may have spot a little bit of something. Let's move down to H1. No, 4 hours fine. Okay, so it's a very small upside down head and shoulders. Okay, I'm not sure, am I seeing this correct? But I think we are. Yep. Okay, so I'm expecting an upward movement. All right, so obviously right now is not the best timing to go in. If I got in, if we analyze at the price of 109.661, if it's at the bottom, it would have been a very perfect analysis where it bounced up, bounced straight up. However, right now we are looking at a possibility of it not pursuing the full head and shoulders. Okay, so normally we will just take level. Slightly slanted, isn't it? I'm trying to level with this, looking at a possible shoot up. Okay, so personally, I would think that. Okay, so we are looking at for the price to actually increase further, for the price to cross 111.123 to proceed with a upward movement analysis. Okay, let's just say this is hypothetically entry and this is take profit. We will need a stop loss, putting it back at the neck. Okay, if this is the possibility we are looking at. Okay, so let's bring in some of the Fibonacci levels. Okay, we can see our take profit is actually very nicely in line with our 100% Fibonacci projection. Let's just remove the 61.8. And then let's take a look at our indicators. All right. So the reason why I want the price to actually exceed 111.23. Okay, is for the price to actually get into Ichimoku cloud, and best if it is able to actually exceed the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, let's take out the conversion lines and the baseline. Okay, so we are waiting for the conversion line and baseline to cross first. All right, let's look at our stochastics. Okay, so we are actually looking at a support level that actually stochastics recently just touch point with at 3.10. There's a high chance where stochastics will still move up to this resistance level at 96.39, which also means that there's a high chance for price to actually keep moving up. You can see the blue line, which is our percentage K. Our percentage K has already it's already above percentage D as a sign of upward movement. All right, so that's why it's something you can observe, continue observing and see where the price level did. The price level eventually exceed 111.123, persisting to move up to our potential take profit at 112.956. All right, so that is for DXY. All right, are we looking at any other pairs? Just one last one. If not, we'll also take a look at the VIP room, which is over here. Let me just... Okay, so we are looking at different servers. Okay, so if you guys have the VIP room, if you guys don't have it, please I encourage you guys to actually join the VIP room, because on there you are able to receive timely news from traders from the Forex army, and then you are able to interact with Desmond himself, right? You can see all the daily news that we are looking at. All right, it's an interaction and a community for all of you. All right, and then you get the daily tradings. Today, you see for JD Tai has already posted a discussion, and you can see that how this works is that we are able to ask questions and you are able to answer it. We are able to answer you timely, and then we are also able to actually type in something like, "Hey, check out this resistance level." Oh, sorry, let me just try again. So we can highlight the word or the keywords that you want to look at. And then before doing that, let's just put this, and then we can link object to text, clicking on the line. And then once you post it, you are able to hover over. All right, hover over to look at what you are looking at. So if you have questions to ask, like, hey, is this resistance line, resistance level valid, is this trend line valid, we are always able to use this function. So it's very, very cool. And everyone actually in Singapore, they also provide different trading tips. All right, and there is also a community where all of you can actually interact with each other. See, there's so many commodities. We can look at as soybean, as corn, as natural gas, and you get your analysis like basically daily, and you can have a discussion amongst your peers and whether analysis, and you also get to see other traders POV. All right. So do explore this charts, and then very cool feature, just like trading view. And it's just that it's internal just for you guys. And then this is our residential trader named Jianing. You can check her out and looking at these comments. All right. So like one more thing, you can also draw out your channels, right? So all the functions, almost all the functions that you have in TradingView, you're able to get it here. However, here you guys are able to ask questions, highlight levels, and perfect feature. And for IronFX only, you know, it's an IronFX VIP. Okay, so you can look at this IronFX VIP live trading room. If you're new, you can hit up the request access. All right, so you can just depending on how much of the funds you have in your account, you can unlock different access levels. So you can actually starting with bronze, which is 250, and then silver at 1,000, gold at 2,000, platinum at 5, and diamond at 30. All right, so you guys can, with 250 deposited in IronFX, and you guys are able to also access this trading channel where, see, today Jianing just actually posted a Bitcoin BTC USD analysis. You can see that there are many analysis. Yeah, so this is her analysis. You can see all the levels that she has drawn out, and you guys are able to ask her questions, right? For if you guys are very confused, or you guys actually have a different perspective and want to see how your analysis actually is viewed in other people's point of view. All right. Okay, I think, do you guys have any last questions or any last pairs you want me to actually do a analysis on? Am I missing out on the chat? Oh, yes. Okay. Do the platform have alert? Alert is something we are still working on. I will make any suggestions for you guys. All right. Can we trade in 15-minute chart? You can trade in 15-minute charts. It's just that 15-minute charts, your analysis has to be super short-lived. Very preferably trading candles by candles at that point of time. Larger time frame, bigger stop loss, bigger loss. It depends, but then your profit loss ratio is pretty good, honestly. 4 hours is difficult for keeping stop loss. I think it's okay. So for me personally, all my analysis are actually based on 1 hour and 4 hours. All right. However, for 4 hours, I would still like to keep my stop loss really close. Okay, that's my personal habit. All right. I think whichever time zone you're in is still important to actually keep stop losses. However, what I am thinking is that if you are uncomfortable with keeping stop loss where you still feel the price is too, the loss amount is too huge, first of all, you can pull your stop loss closer. However, give the analysis breathing room. If not, do partial stop losses. So basically have 2 levels of stop loss. So for example, the first level, you stop up maybe 30% of your positions that you're trading, or 50% of your positions that you're trading, so that technically you still believe that your analysis is going to work and price actually going to come back up or go back down. However, you are saving yourself from the trouble of losing too much, which by putting a further stop loss. So I think partial stop loss has been very great for 4 hours trading. So lastly, which time frame is better to trade in Forex? I think this is personal choice. Everyone has a different mentality, different investment mindset, investor mindset when it comes to Forex. So preferably for myself, I would say hourly would be the best trading for me because I like to keep my analysis very short and very sweet. However, some people prefer a much longer, bigger risk to reward. All right, so depending on you guys. Euro dollar. Didn't we do dollar euro just now? And then we are looking at euro. I remember dollar euro being a not very well paired. Preferably if it's me, I'm not very keen on dollar euro, as it's not much of a trend. It's just bouncing up and down in 2 levels that we are looking at, which is 1.0269 and 0.9899. All right, so I would say keep in view. All right, do take a look again until there is more trending, then we can continue with it. All right, here comes to the end of today's IronFX webinar. We will see you next time. All right, see you guys, and thank you so much for attending today's webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.